Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
It's 3 a.m. and the sirens are going off. Another rocket attack. I've got my boots and got my ammo in my 50-pound sack. A 100 boys headed to war in this world unknown. The only peace of mind I've got are these letters from home. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here in Kandahar. Well, most of us, we made it home, but we never came back. When we close our eyes at night, we hear a rocket attack. I've tried to talk and tell you about it, but it ain't the same. All these thoughts that run through my head, well, they can't be tamed. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here in Kandahar. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here. We ain't far from Kandahar. In Kandahar.
And then you're going to come down to the stables and you'll start working with the horses. And it's nothing mandatory. Like our first session, we got out here and we just started grooming a horse. Patrick showed us how to groom a horse, and it was just fun. And as we're grooming a horse, we're telling our story.
You get to see somebody who's never been around a horse who's scared of horses.
Let's roll.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Break them off some. How you guys and gals doing today? Yeah, you know what? Hang on. I'm just not it. Okay, so today's Memorial Day. A lot of you guys and gals have gone through a lot with your missing you're missing your fallen brothers and sisters. Staff Sergeant Charles R. Sanders, 29, Charleston, Missouri. Sanders was assigned to Company F, 159th Aviation Regiment, 12th Aviation Brigade, Giebelstadt, Germany. That was my unit. I was assigned to the 12th Aviation Brigade back in the day when I was in aviation. Charles Daniel Freeman, 20, of Cincinnati, Ohio. Freeman was assigned to the 1st Battalion, 508th Infantry Regiment, Camp Italy. Master Sergeant Manas Colon, 42, and Juana Diaz, Puerto Rico. Manas Colon was assigned to Division Artillery, 25th Infantry Light, Schofield Barracks. Chief Warrant Officer David Ayala, 24, of New York. Ayala was assigned to Company F, 159th Aviation Regiment, 12th Aviation Brigade. I was assigned to those units before I changed my MOS to be a PSYOP guy, way back in the day of ancient, I don't want to say it too far, but ancient history, but yeah, I'm just one of those things today. I want to say hi to you guys and gals in all the chats. Sergeant Hawkins, Staff Sergeant Hawkins, Sergeant Jackson, Sergeant Jose Guerreca Jr., Specialist Benjamin P. Calvin, Specialist Christopher A. McCoy, Specialist Emilio Gonzalez, Sergeant First Class Wilbert Davis, Major Edward J. Murphy, Dwayne Mullins, Corporal USMC, Joshua Blaney, Chris Kyle, of course, Corporal William M. Harder. Yeah, I'm just today just kind of like telling everybody, hey, there's a lot of drama going on in the world and all this other stuff. We're kind of stepping back and kind of like picking apart. I told Flash. Flash asked me, "Hey, was there a show tonight?" And I said, "Yeah. Well, I mean, we had a show last year for Memorial Day." And he said, "I was going to go hang out with my dad." And, you know what, dude? Go do it. I got 1.4 million people to hang out with tonight. So any of you guys want to shoot the shit or drop a shout out, go ahead and drop it in there, and I'll raise a glass with you tonight. I'll ride the fucking. I've done solo rogue missions before. I'm used to this stuff. Don't worry about it. One real quick shout out to the Bayou Bandits. Let me tell you how that happened. The Bayou Bandits, they play a lot of our music, right? And we had a lot of music that they donated to us, and I was like, we were gonna work. We were gonna do a WTF, and this is one of the things that pisses me off about this COVID crap. We were planning, and this, of course, this summer, it was almost like a WTF jam. Not really a WTF jam, but kind of like, like a concert series, just hanging out. POC 1 got us Sergeant Major Barbarian Banks of Harvey, Louisiana, assigned to Division Artillery, 25th Artillery. 25th Infantry Division, my bad. Captain David Connolly, Colony was assigned to Army Reserves, 1173rd Transportation Terminal Battalion, Brockford, Massachusetts. Staff Sergeant Romanus Woodward of Hereford, North Carolina. Woodward is assigned to 1st Battalion, 508th Infantry Regiment, Camp Italy. And then Stephen High, 45 of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Spivey, Michael K. Spivey. Spivey was assigned to Company F-159th, 12th Aviation Brigade, Giebelstadt, Germany. We were planning on doing some stuff this whole freaking stuff. Our whole lives has been changed by this COVID crap. Whether you want to jump into the hype or not of what it is or what it isn't. A lot of things that had happened with the closures of all state governments that wanted to present some sort of safety cushion to everybody and their citizenry. Close a lot of stuff down. Now, we had a lot of Brian Werber, 225 Aviation Regiment, Wheeler Army Airfield. And no worries, Devon. We hear all fucking night reading the names off, all through the show. We had a lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff in my personal life happening. A lot of stuff in, well, hell, everybody's personal life was affected. I don't want to sound selfish or be that person. We had a lot of things going on for the station as well that we had all had big hype for. Big plans, big stuff. One of it was that I've always, and O'Brien, Red Leg always wanted to do like our own WTF kind of like jam. And I was like, it would be fucking awesome to do one. And so I started formulating an idea. I hadn't really laid it pen to paper yet. And Lance Corporal Garrett, W. Gamble, USMC. Staff Sergeant Sean Fisher, 14 August 07, went to basic AIT. Lost together. He was killed in Iraq during a routine post-maintenance test flight. Sorry to hear about that, Chris. So before I put the idea of pen to paper, I was going to present to the boss and the bosses of WTF Nation, and I was like, I would love to have had like a concert series event or like a little jam. It's nothing big, nothing whatever, where it's going to be, just kind of like spring surprise. Well, then I thought of the Bayou Bandits when they'd given us some of their music to say, hey, I heard you guys, I heard you guys wanted to come, you're talking about having some sort of music because you needed some bumper music for your station, and well, yeah, that'll work. That's freaking awesome. So Bayou Bandits came on, and of course their frontman, Joshua Strickland, who is also a registered nurse, 10-year Army veteran, gave me a bunch of stuff, gave me a bunch of music, came onto the show, shot the shit with us. We got to know him, and we just kind of got close. Hey, bros, hey, what's going on? How you been? Hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I got stuff with the band, and here's my band. I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. You meet new friends and stuff like that online. You start chit-chatting. With Joshua, though, it was more of an email back and forth, so it wasn't really like on Facebook or something like that. Because I know he's busy. He's working some of the stuff in Jersey, doing the COVID shit. And I was like, let me ask him if he wouldn't mind doing like a little mini jam, like a concert, like a little hey, let's get something together and let's just plan it out. And then I was like, everyone's doing these virtual events and virtual meetings and all sorts of shit. Well, why don't we just have like a virtual mini jam? Let's just have some music being played, and then we'd be able to rock and roll. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You have some music played and all that. And I pitched it to Joshua, and Joshua's got with a band, and he's like, yeah, dude, I'm on it. Oh, let me work on it. We'll shoot tomorrow. And this was yesterday this was Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning actually, or Friday actually. Was it Friday? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was Friday we talked about it, and Saturday we solidified it, and then Sunday he did the shoot, and it was released today. And also to Casa Music Productions too. Thank you for doing it. So real quick, he's like, yeah, I'll get it going. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't really. You have. All I ask is that you film it freaking horizontal. Don't film it vertical because everyone knows that's like amateur shit. Well, I got the vid today, and oh my god, I was floored. Not only did they did a full set, they did a good set, about almost an hour's worth of music, but they also did the graphic stuff. They also did some shout outs. I was floored. So again, a huge shout out to Bayou Bandits for doing that little mini jam, And we got that jam posted all over 3 different pages. So U.S. Army WTF moments, WTF Nation Radio, and also the WTF U.S. Army WTF moments videos page posted it as well. So yeah, dude, it was just I don't know. This is all just kind of like worked itself out. So again, real shout out to Joshua and the band, the Bayou Bandits. You can go ahead and look on the timelines and you can check it out. Yeah, I just kind of like, you know, I lost a friend. I lost a friend downrange, classmate, Sergeant Major's Academy classmate. And I was just like, you know, just kind of freaking just chill. Not really too, hey, what's up, Ross? Not really throwing up the drama. I just been seeing a lot of comments on drama on everyone's talking about, hey, don't talk about it, man. Memorial Day being obviously is a day of remembrance for those that have fallen, our service members and service women. I just, guys, gals, don't get too wrapped around the axle when someone says Happy Memorial Day. I think some of the reason why we have an issue with what they call the civil military divide, and that's the divide, that's the chasm, the canyon, the gap that's being the wedge that's being driven between civilians and the military when we start jumping off on civilians on how to properly speak to us. Well, they don't know. I mean, they don't. I don't expect a civilian to know how to speak to me. If a civilian obviously doesn't know that I'm a veteran, then cool. If it doesn't, I'm not gonna go up. I'm not gonna get upset if someone says Happy Memorial Day. You better, you hate vets. That's not what they mean. They don't know. I think it's more of an expression of how they're just at least trying to provide some sort of, hey, I understand where you're coming from. If that's the way you get to know us, then that's cool. Yeah, it's not Veterans Day is Veterans Day. Memorial Day is Memorial Day. Armed Forces Day is Armed Forces Day. Independence Day is Independence Day. There's a lot of individuals that they could say, oh my God, yeah, Stefan, I about to say, I could imagine. There's a lot of individuals that really get really upset, and it's not like they ask me, hey, you need to blast this guy on air. You need to tell this guy that all they do is say Happy Veterans Day, and I was like, Happy Memorial Day. I'm like, well, why do I need to get upset? There is no need for anyone to get upset on Memorial Day, specifically when they're trying to express that they're at least thinking of us on Memorial Day. I don't know if that makes any sense. Real quick, hey, shout out to Black Rifle Coffee Company. That video that they posted was last year. It was last year's Memorial Day video, and that video just kind of it sticks you in the ribs. Actually, any video. Someone said Happy Remembrance Day at work. A lot of individuals don't know. Again, don't get around the meaning of the how they're trying to. Obviously the meaning of is important, but when someone is trying to say, and they don't know how to say it, because then all they think, or all they see from social media was this guy went off on me because I didn't know how to say Memorial Day right, and I was just trying to be respectful, and he went off on me. Is that how you want to remember? Because the observances are for U.S. military personnel that died in service. That's what it is. That's it. So don't lose your shit on somebody who is trying to convey at least their appreciative ones. No, that's not the one with Matt Best walking with his buddy. That's the one where it's almost the same one, Ross. Yeah, the one with Matt Best walking with his buddy. That one's I wouldn't be able to finish the show, dude. If I play that one out. That one kind of gets you in the feels. Right. So again, nation, don't get the ass. Don't get upset. Don't know. It used to be called Decoration Day. It used to be called. It was a federal holiday. And just let me just give you the meaning of it. It's people that visiting, of course, national cemeteries, memorials on Memorial Day to mourn those that died serving in the U.S. military, of course. And you have different. We had the wreath laying ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknowns, which is a tradition that the president always conducts. Everybody wants to walk back and forth and say that it's There's like 25. There's like 25. According to some different news sources, there's different people that claim that it have originated at the holiday. That was the holiday. Columbus, Georgia State University. There's a Center for Memorial Day Research, and University of Mississippi, incorporates a Center for Civil War Research that led to research of Memorial Day's origins. The practice of decorating a soldier's grave with flowers is an ancient custom. That doesn't go all the way back, of course, that we know of. But it's an ancient custom in the U.S. before during the American Civil War. Many of the origination claims are where it originated from. Everyone's like, there's unsupported evidence. There's no myths. There's no whatever. So everyone likes to try to say, oh, it's because it's a Southern thing and it's because it's supposed to be. Stop it right there. That's already immediately you're already trying to politicize that when it's not. There is, again, no supportive evidence on who actually started it. Warrenton, Virginia, was a location of the first Civil War's soldier's grave to be decorated, according to the Richmond Times-Dispatch article back in 1906. That decoration was found at the funeral of the first soldier killed in action during the Civil War, John Quincy Marr, who died 1 June 1861 during a skirmish at the Battle of Fairfax. And then the Savannah, Georgia, 1861, the women in Savannah decorated the graves of Laurel Grove Cemetery and of Colonel Francis S. Bartow and his comrades who died in the Battle of Manassas, the first Battle of Bull Run. And then in Jackson, Mississippi, Sue Landon Vaughn supposedly decorated graves of Confederate and Union soldiers. However, the earliest recorded reference of this event did not appear until many years afterward. I'll get this from different sources too. I'm getting this from these Associated newspapers and Wikipedia and shit. So I'm just like paraphrasing for everybody. 1865, Charleston, recently freed African American slaves held a parade, 10,000 people to honor 257 dead Union soldiers. Remains that be reburied from a mass grave in a Confederate prison camp. Historian David W. Blight cites contemporary news reports that this incident in the Charleston Daily Courier and the New York Tribune, although Blight claimed that African Americans invented Memorial Day in Charleston, South Carolina. In 2012, he stated that he has no evidence that the event in Charleston inspired the establishment of Memorial Day across the country. See, everyone's always trying to drop some sort of angle to something like this. Don't. There's no need to. There's no need to angle on this at all. There's precedents in the North too. There's also, again, everyone's trying to. I don't like doing this because then everybody gets all mad and wrapped around the axle about this stuff. I'm not gonna talk about that stuff. But Decoration Day was its original holiday name. There we go. How about that? We'll skip all the other crap that everyone likes to claim, North and South, saying that there's some sort of ties to whoever. Memorial Day actually extended to honor all Americans who died in the U.S. military service. In the 1860s, 1920s, saw numerous debates on how to expand the celebration. There was a favorable lobbying activity for the Grand Army of the Republic. Yes, there was the Grand Army of the Republic. See, we had the Grand Army of the Republic. I don't know, a little Star Wars nod there. I don't want to shoot off there, but I'm doing some of this research. I was like, we had a Grand Army of the Republic. So in the GAR handbook, explained that Memorial Day, Sergeant First Class Case, B. DeWinkle, 189 Cab, BCT, 10th Mountain. Memorial Day speeches became an occasion for veterans, politicians, and ministers to commemorate the Civil War and, at first, the atrocities of the enemy, and then mixed religion and celebratory nationalism for the people to make sense of their history of sacrifice for a better nation. People of all religious beliefs joined together at the point that was often that German and Irish soldiers, ethnic minorities who faced discrimination in the U.S., had become true Americans in the baptism of blood on the battlefield. National Capital 1913, the 4-day Blue-Gray Reunion featured parades, reenactment speeches. Hosted dignitaries include President Woodrow Wilson, the first Southerner elected to the White House since the war, and James Helphin of Alabama gave the main address. Helphin was a noted orator, and his choice as Memorial Day speaker was criticized because he was in support of segregation. Yeah, see, the whole thing is like everyone likes to drop that wedge again. So the name Memorial Day was first attested in 1882, and gradually more of a more common than Decoration Day after World War II, but not declared as an official name by federal law until 1967. That's interesting. So in June 28, 1968, Congress passed the Uniform Monday Holiday Act, which moved 4 holidays, including Memorial Day and the traditional dates, to a specified Monday in order to create a convenient 3-day weekend. The charge moved Memorial Day from traditional May 30th to the last Monday in May. The law took effect at the federal level in 1971. After some initial confusion and unwillingness to comply, all 50 states adopted Congress's change of date within a few years. Well, see, there you go. That's the that's the wicket to it. That's the wicket to all that. I know everyone likes to go back and forth and say, "Oh, it was supposed to have been this and it was supposed to have been that." I'm like, hey, let's just think about this too. Everyone who's getting mad when they're saying that you shouldn't be celebrating and all this other stuff, all previous Memorial Days have been celebrating, with reenactments. Could you imagine like having a reenactment and shit of Memorial Day stuff? I mean, because you had the World War II, Civil War guys and all that stuff, but then you had parades and all that. So it's kind of like now we have another group not another group, but we have individuals that like to say that it's not supposed to be somber. It's supposed to be somber. You're supposed to be memorializing. I'll be honest with you. Some of the individuals that I ran around with and hung out with would be upset that I'm not out. I would want to be remembered that way. Some of the good memories and stuff like that. Of course, I'd be sad that that obviously I won't be around. I wouldn't be around, but I would want that. It's okay to be sad to have somebody gone. It's okay to be, you miss them so much and all that stuff, but remember them, for the good times. And it would be one of those things to where, hanging out with them, having a barbecue with them and all that. What would be wrong with having a barbecue and drinking a couple beers and shooting the shit about, their memory of what they did? So that whole, the happy Memorial Day stuff, I just wish everybody would just stop. Well, I shouldn't say I wish, because then it sounds like I'm trying to stand on a soapbox on it, but don't give a shit. I know what you mean. Civilians, when you're talking to me and you say, hey, happy Memorial Day, Ken. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's it. You don't have to pull them aside, throw a couple, Brovet t-shirts at them, make them drink some vet coffee and say, you better say it right. And you're supposed to be sad and you're supposed to be sucking. That's not the way it's supposed to be. I mean, instead you could, sit down and shoot the shit, and if you can, drink a couple shots, raise a glass to the names that I've been reading off. No, there's a couple of t-shirt companies that can get pissed off at me because I'm saying that, I guess. A reenactment of the Battle of the Bayat Portageon. Whoa, Chris, what's up with that? What are you talking about? You talking about standing in line? A reenactment of negligent discharges? Because I've seen that. Now that's funny, right? Isn't that funny? Having somebody shooting the shit about that. Hey, remember so and so? This happened. He had like 3 or 4 or 5 negligent discharges or something like that. He got busted for it. That's the shit you want to joke around about. Don't be somber about it. I know everybody gets mad and likes to, God, the worst part of it is being forgotten throughout this whole process. I know a lot of individuals don't like to say, oh well, but there were several ceremonies that were throughout the country were members of Congress and to include former Vice President Joe Biden.
Transitioning to civilian life.
Oh, hang on, someone playing the wrong video there. Made his first appearance in more than 2 months as he laid a wreath at his appropriate veterans freaking. Yeah, exactly. Who was that? You're not gonna drop a name that he knows who shot that Porter shitter by accident? Oh, whoa! No, dude, you gotta tell us at least what happened, Chris. Tell us what happened. Don't be just dropping that stuff like that. Just don't hide that stuff. Come on, man. That is also the first. It's the first Memorial Day without baseball. I know if Flash was here right now, he'd be upset. He'd be upset because, like, God damn, dude. Yeah, exactly that, I hear you. Mixed feelings about that, too. Mixed feelings. Tina says that she has mixed feelings about the last roll call. It's dignified but excruciating. Yeah, it is. It is. I don't think there really is any other way to do that. I think honestly, it allows, I don't know, being in several ceremonies myself where I've heard the last roll call, it resonates. It hits you. It hits you like a ton of bricks. It lets you know the seriousness of the loss. It is one of those things to where, God, it just like when the whole ceremony itself, and of course, you know, the folding and the presentation of the flag. I did casualty assistance, and I'll tell you what, oof, man, that shit's tough. Shit's tough. There was
weren't there.
Hang on, I got somebody else dropping a video. So okay, so Chris says he got the runs from some bad DFAC, and in his haste made it to the shitter and dropped his M4 and had a round chambered. It popped off and killed the poor holding tank, and there was blue blood. So he shot the holding tank, and crapper water went everywhere, huh? Oh man, God, that's a sight. That's a sight that you can't even imagine. How do you explain that to somebody? What was he doing? What was he? Must have been. Well, did he not clear his weapon? Is that what it was? I take it. Did he not do it? Nope. Not going to do anything about not talking about any other stuff. I'm just talking about some, you know, just talking, just shooting the shit with you guys. Really had nothing on here. Again, if you guys wanted to talk about, you know, anything you want to talk about, actually, that has to do with this. If you guys wanted to talk about this, like I said, I told Flash to take off. I got you all to talk to, shoot the breeze with. Why not? So we shoot the shit all you know, for a whole show. I don't care. So the American Legion right now is calling all Americans to light candles at dusk on Memorial Day to remember and honor those who fell during the nation's battle from Bunker Hill to Fallujah and all the nameless places in between. Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America is also asking for a virtual gathering. They had a moment of silence at 1500 today, local time throughout the nation. Veteran Foreign War simply asked for a period of reflection to remember the service men and women that we've lost over the course of history. You notice how Jose isn't here? Yeah, exactly. Jose isn't here, and neither is Flash. Exactly, man. I don't know. It's one of those things. I'm telling you guys. The calls for personal tributes comes from after many traditional public events making Memorial Day were canceled, obviously because the restrictions that were brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. In Washington, D.C., the roar of motorcycles that was a feature of Memorial Day weekends for the last 32 years was absent. Everybody knows that. The Rolling Thunder, I've attended a Rolling Thunder event on my bike, and it's awesome. So in 2019, Rolling Thunder Tribute was the last one. AMVET's veteran service organizations had planned a scaled-down version of Rolling Thunder to be called Rolling to Remember, but the event, as planned, was canceled and will now go virtual. The traditional flags in ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery, in which members of the Old Guard, 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment, placed flags at each headstone, took place as usual last Thursday, but it was closed to the public. Arlington will be open only to family members on Memorial Day, and they will be limited to visiting grave sites. The central event for all Memorial Days is the laying of the wreath at the Tomb of the Unknowns by the president or designate, following by a speech to the nation from the amphitheater, had been canceled this year because of the COVID-19 restrictions. They're still in effect in Northern Virginia. So yeah, everyone likes to write up some stuff about it. They like to drop a lot of stuff about the president. I'm trying to stay away from the politics stuff. One of the exceptions is the closing is the National World War II Museum in New Orleans. It will officially reopen on Memorial Day, but visitors will be required to wear face masks and observe social distancing. The National World War I Museum and Memorial in Kansas City, Missouri will be closed, but there will be virtual events, including the tolling of the bell for the fallen. To guard against the threat of the novel coronavirus, all cemeteries overseas run by American Battle Monuments Commission will be closed to the public, including the iconic cemetery at Côte-Simois, overlooking D-Day beaches of Normandy. 142 national cemeteries with more than 4.7 million grave sites run by the Department of Veteran Affairs will be open to public, but Memorial Day ceremonies will be closed. Quote, "It is true This Memorial Day is somewhat different. VA Secretary Robert Wilkie said in his Memorial Day message, "As we fight the COVID-19 pandemic, we do not gather as we normally would to honor our nation's heroes, but we can still remember and honor them by spending a quiet moment paying homage to their courage and sacrifice." Of course. Specialist Theodore Otto Aldridge. Raise a glass. Yeah, Steph. Oh, yeah. You know, I was going to ask you, Stephen. Everything's opened up in Florida yesterday, huh? Wow, that's crazy. Have they said anything about any new cases? There's any? I know they were doing some gloom and doom and shit. So I was just wondering, is there any zombies running? World War Z zombies, Walking Dead zombies? Yeah, go ahead, man. You give us a buzz, 415-889-8367. Shit, why not? Yeah, especially the beaches, man. Yeah, hang on. Let's see. Stand by. Let's see if we can get that real quick a phone call here. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, dude. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you, Stephen. Stephen, you better call right now. You better go ahead and give Ice a call. It's time to talk. Give us your COVID-19 update. At any rate, there's also, man. Did you guys? Yeah. Go ahead. You just call in, dude. Call in. My daddy might hear my example, Master Sergeant Ronald the Yonker. I don't want to mispronounce that. There we go. Yeah, exactly, Cos. Exactly. Drop them digits, man. 415-889-8367. You better be careful or I'll call you. How about that? I think I got your number. I think I got your number. Hang on. Let me see. Let me look. Stand by, fans. Stand by. There we go. There. Matter of fact, I'm gonna call you. Yeah, hang on. There we go. I'm gonna call you, Stefan. How about that? I have the power. There we go. I'm gonna get you. Yeah, I'm gonna get you. Hello. I'd like to speak to Stefan, please. What's going on, brother? How you been, man? Oh, that's cool. I beat you the punch. You know, there's like a 10-14 second delay here anyway, so I got you. What's yeah? So the whole thing with Florida is there like a? I mean, is there? I mean, has there been new cases? I mean, come on, be honest.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know what's really frustrating is they're also blaming a lot of. I'm not a medical person, so I'm not in the hospital, so I don't know how they're throwing their numbers out there. But it's like, well, are there more people who have it or more people who don't? We don't know. So yeah, they're throwing numbers out there. We're looking at it and we're like, well, if a hospital gets incentive above what they would get for somebody's case, then they say, well, we're going to get an incentive to call it COVID. Like somebody gets ran over by a dump truck. Yeah. And then they go to the hospital and then they pass away in the ER and they're like, yeah, he got killed by a dump truck, but we're going to call it, it was COVID.
So he got killed by a COVID dump truck?
Yeah, right. So it's like, so some of the numbers, so the county that I'm in right now, if I look up the numbers, we've had probably 200, 300 cases. I'm not looking at the numbers. I'm not using my Googleizer. So here in the county that I'm in, it's Brevard County. So Cape Canaveral, right? Patrick Air Force Base. So we've got some launches going on. We've had over, actually we're launching on Wednesday. Right. People up to the International Space Station. Yep. So we've got a lot going on over here, but the amount of cases has been actually it might be at most like 500 right now, and out of that, it's total. If this virus allegedly exists, if it's real, right, which we take the precautions for. So I work in a facility, And we have to take precautions just because we have to be careful and be safe around each other. You know, whether the virus exists or doesn't, well, we don't care. We have to wear face masks.
Right.
At all times, you know. So we're and it's not wearing a face mask is not a pain in the ass, and it doesn't take away any of your freedoms.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
You can wear a face mask. It's not a pain in the ass. Like go into the grocery store. Now, what I have seen is I've been wearing face masks, and I got like 4 or 5 of them. And actually, one of my coworkers has been making them. So she's like, all right, well, here's a face mask. I'm like, cool, awesome. You know, I'll take it with me. And I'll go to the store. I've been going to the stores here, like you know, to go buy some vegetables or some food or whatever. Like I would say at least 50% of the people are wearing face masks. So that gives you at least half the people are just saying, whatever, fuck, we don't give a shit.
Right. Well, shit. Hey, let's take a break right quick, and then I'll keep you on the air because I got a lot of questions because you're like the first person on the COVID release there. And we'll take a break so that we got more time so that we're not crowding the break.
Yeah, absolutely. You want me to
just hang on. No, just stay right there. Yeah, no, you ain't got to do nothing. Just hang on, guys. We'll be right back, and then we'll be no for real. Just stay on the line.
All right.
Anyways, guys, we'll be right back. We're gonna take a break, and then we'll come back and talk to Stefan about this COVID stuff because I'm curious. I got some questions. So stand by, guys.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
Nothing feels the same. Let it all be us where you draw the line, 'cause it's so sad. Tell me where you lost your faith. Is it so bad? Couldn't see it in your face, and it's so sad. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down. Why you keep it in your head? Is it so bad? Never heard a word you say it, and it's so sad. Tell me when you lost your way, 'cause it's so bad. Won't see you when I pray, and it's so sad. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down. Is it what you want? Is it what you need now? Is it what you breathe? Is it what you're feeling now? Is it what you feel? Is it what you're feeling now? Is it what you wanted? I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down. Hello, you. Will you come back down to me? Hello, you. Will you come back down? Hello, you. Won't you come back down to me? Hello, you.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
The states that has had their zombie apocalypse dealios lifted. So can you? Okay, so we were just talking on there before we came off a break. So tell me what's been going on? You were talking about the mask stuff and all that. What's up with the mask shit? What's happening with social life? Can you give us a brief?
So I have a job. So I work 40 hours per week. So we actually ended up switching our shifts, and so we're now doing 4 10-hour days, so that we have the least amount of time where we interact with people. So we don't want to be next to each other, or they're trying to. Somebody decided, well, let's do 4 10-hour days as opposed to doing like a 9 to 5, 5 days a week or whatever. So I work in the space industry. So we work with NASA and whatnot, which the military set me up to do, which was really cool. But so that's kind of like how this whole thing has impacted me and myself. That's all. I can only tell my story.
Right. So we're just giving you. Yeah, we just want to get. Yeah. So this you'd be like the average. You're the average Joe living through the Rona pandemic, and then see what happens. See what's going on. So
hell yeah.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I noticed was I get off work now at say 1800 or so, and I go stop at random grocery store. I'm not going to name any names, and they're totally out of shitter paper.
That's still happening. That's still happening. The shit tickets are.
Yeah, it's still they're still out of shitter paper. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how can I get some shitter paper? But
Tina wants to know: do you personally know Florida Man? Do you know what he's like, or are you Florida Man? Are you know how, because you know how Flash and Jose are never seen the same spot, so it's like Stefan and Florida Man are never seen in one spot. Are you?
Well, they should change it. They should get rid of the A and change it to an E and make it Florida Men. There's a lot of
it's all dudes. So you live in the space you live in Florida and you work in the space industry and all that. In your field of work, we're about ready to launch some papes, some Americans into space. The United States in space.
Wednesday we're launching. We got 2 guys, but the weather's not that good. It might not happen.
Right.
The plan was to launch Wednesday. I think it was like 4:00 in the afternoon. It was 1600. So, we were planning on it, but it looks like the weather might be holding that one back. But it is what it is. We'll reschedule it and delay it.
They've had. I mean, I know Space Force WTF moments. Those guys, they're admins. They're in the Space Force. They're like in Space Com, Space Force, whatever. So they're pumped. I mean, they can't wait. They're literally. I think one of them was gonna try to drive down there to do an actual like Facebook Live event from the facility. I'm like, you guys be careful. Don't get caught. I know there's some.
If they want to come down here, I'll show them all the cool places around, like Patrick Air Force Base. Like
dude. I'll definitely link them up with you because some of them are already in Space Force. Or one of them, not in Space Force, but one of them is going to change over to apply. One of the space. But anyways, the Space Force weenies are all freaking excited about this launch. So with that you said that could be some weather change. We don't want to say that officially, unofficially, because then Elon Musk will fucking sue us or some shit or get mad. So right now you have a HPCon, some sort of HPCon. You guys are wearing a bunch of masks and stuff. You guys are wearing what?
Absolutely. So the situation right now is every morning when we get up, we have to go on our phones and log into a website. This is I'm working now 10 hours a day, so I have to get up in the morning and I go scrub my balls and take my shower and poop in the toilet. And I have a dog. I got to take care of my dog in the morning. Before I'm allowed to access the site, after going through ID and security, I have to pass a test on my phone, which basically I could do it right now if I wanted to, but obviously I need to do it in the morning.
Right.
It asks you, have you had a fever in the last 24 hours? Have you had aches, pains, chills? I think it's a pool of probably like 30 questions. So they throw a random 3 at you, and basically they call it a health assessment. Before you're even allowed on site, you have to go green on this application on our phones before we're even allowed to access site.
So it's almost like doing your PHA again. It's almost like it's almost like having to go through fucking MedPros again. Get your MedPros
exactly right. So you have to do a personal health assessment before you're even allowed on site. Before you have to show that to the guard.
Right.
The guards are like, all right, you're good to go. But so I don't know how this happened. 8 days ago, Sunday night, I went to bed, and I get up Monday morning, and I do the health assessment on my phone.
Right.
I'm like sitting on the shitter, like just doing my stuff, right? And I pop green. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm awesome. So I jump in the shower, take a shower, wash my balls, and then
dude, you get your TMI in the balls. We get it. You wash balls, okay? we get it. We get it, brother. You got balls and you wash them. Got it. Okay, go ahead. Continue. You do personal hygiene. Got it. Go ahead.
So I did my personal hygiene, right? So that whole thing's not knocked out. So I get on site and I'm sitting there, and I get an email from HR, and they're like, "You popped red," and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? How did I pop red?" So their app screwed up. So I'm on site already. I've already passed checks. They're like, "All right, you're good to go. You're green." This was a week ago today, so 7 days ago. This was Monday of last week, and I'm like, I'm already on site, and they're like, "You're red." I'm like, what did I do wrong? How did I do
that's
this?
so from that point, let's just say you were red. What happens if somebody's red? I mean, what are they? I mean,
right.
Then you're like, you get like scrubbed down or something like that, or what?
Well, so the idea is that if somebody has a fever or they have chills or they have they're supposed to stay home and then be evaluated. That's the whole idea, is keep the people who pop red away from any facilities, so that it's sort of like the whole social distance, self-isolation. Identify yourself, but the problem is that people are going to be like, whatever, fuck it, I have a fever, but fuck everybody else. I'm just
okay. So
work.
All right, I get that. That's totally understandable, because you want to put food on your family's table. What is considered a fever? I mean, what is in their range of having? You know, what's, because I know some people have a temperature they're always warm, or they have a temperature that's, you know, they're what is considered normal in this event?
All right, so you got two absolutely awesome points. All right, so first question, what is a fever? How do you? So I'm not a medical professional, and we probably have some doctors and nurses on here. The average temperature of people, and I'm not going to make any like tinfoil hat stuff, has gone from 98.6 degrees, has gone up like to 96 or whatever. So it's gone up a little bit.
Yeah, it's like the new temperature metric or something like that, right? It's
yeah.
It's so, and I think, but I think the new body temp normal was. Are we? I mean, it's actually it's forever. It's been, what's it like? It used to be 96.8.
98.6.
Now it's 98.6. Yeah. Yeah. See, exactly. Wallbreaker said that it's different, but it's considered 99 or higher for some people's work. So So then, what does that mean?
So I got a second answer to your initial question about how do you tell what your actual temperature is, right? Like what's your testing device?
Right.
So one of my coworkers was like freaking out because he had a elderly family member who was going through some other medical issues, and he was like trying to find a thermometer. You cannot buy a thermometer right now in Florida. They're all sold out. They're completely gone.
No, so what kind of thermometer are we talking about? Are we talking about? See, that's another thing too. It's almost like, what is the national testing device of a true thermometer? Just like getting a DUI, or you know what I mean? Because then, so somebody busts you for coming into work, you're gonna say no, I want to object this. This is what is it when you get a ticket for speeding? It's faulty equipment. Do you know what I mean? Is that what's the
absolutely? You could challenge the equipment, definitely, but is that going to prevent you from putting food on your table?
Well, my thing is this though, is that, look, I've known people that have had body temperatures that go 98, 99, and then they and that's normal. I mean, that's because some of the medications that they take or whatever, or they're just.
Did you get the smallpox? Did you get the smallpox vaccine?
Oh,
yeah. All right. So 2004, we were in Germany. This was in Darmstadt, and they gave me the smallpox vaccine. I had 104-degree fever after that, and I was actually like out, like I was on sick call for like 3 days.
No, you had the Rona back in the day. So Ross wants to know even rectal thermometers. See, that's what I'm saying. So what's the right metric? What's the
all right?
So who is the, because you know the military, like right now, because on Thursday we're gonna break there. Oh my God, there's some first sergeants that are really messing up with doing this PT test with the way they're doing this Rona shit. I just want to know because, like for instance, it's almost like a breathalyzer. It's almost like a radar detector. You know, what is the true method of? Is it the electronic one? Is it the glass one? Who has to verify it? Because I'll be honest with you, that's one of the things that we're having issues with right now, is that now all of a sudden everyone's an epidemiologist. Everyone is a now freaking. I'll be honest with you, I don't know, like you and I were talking about earlier. We're not medical professionals, but we also have non-medical professionals telling us when we can't come to work. You know what I mean? You can't diagnose me. You're not a medical. Yo, dude, you're my shift leader. You're my fucking manager. You're not a doctor, are you? What med school did you graduate from? You know, shit like that. It gets into that dynamic back and forth. So Tina says if you pop red, you get a neck gaiter and surrounded by a shower curtain. of innovative excellence. That's right, of excellence. So what do you? I mean, yes, we're still reading names off. So if you guys want to pop a name in there, go ahead and I'll read it off. If you have a, like I said, it's just because I'm like you, that device that you were a little app, all it did was just ask you questions, right? And
yeah, it asks you, like, you know, do you feel like you have chills, or do you have a fever? Well, do I have test measurement diagnostic equipment so that I can stick it up my butt so I can feel how cold I am? Right? It's
yeah,
like...
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Do you know? I don't know. If someone says, "Do you feel cold right now?" I don't know. Is the AC on? Are you feeling hot? Are you feeling warm right now? Well, I just ran outside and it's fucking 80 degrees, so I'm probably gonna be hot. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things like that. And then this app, dude.
It's like, and it's like, do you have aches and pains? It's like, well, I just did jujitsu yesterday.
Yeah,
so
right. Well, yeah, like me, I'm old. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like aches and pains all the time when I wake up. So, yeah, 98. Yeah, actually, everyone's saying 98.6 is the new norm. So the app. Let me ask you this: is that legal? Is that like a legal thing? Because that's what people are like now saying is all these randos that are on the web.
It's required by the corporation that I work for, which I'm not going to name.
Of course.
But, it's required by the corporation, and so whether it's an invasion of my privacy, who knows? You know, that's go. So what do I want to say? I don't want to say, well, you know, we have to make a certain amount of sacrifices. So yeah, we're sort of sacrificing our freedom by providing this information, but at the same time, it's like, well, does this make a difference? But you still have to conform to it because I still like to put the food on the table.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's see, we start going about HIPAA and shit, right? And everyone's like talking about the HIPAA, and everyone's talking about having certification papers. Yada papira bita. You don't even have your papers and shit. I'm not gonna have no papers. You have those internet randos that like to find somebody that might be positive for COVID. And then the next thing you know, they're gonna scream at you for not wearing a mask in the social. You know, speaking of which, what was it like hanging out? Because I know you go out and you hang out, you shoot the shit. You know, you're a man. You go do shit. So I know you went to a bar, right?
Last night.
Exactly. So how was that? How was that? How was that? Does that feel weird or something like that? I mean,
yeah, everything totally opened up, and so me and some friends, we went out to a little tiny place last night, and there was some. This was actually a pretty shady place, and we went in there, and there were some guys playing pool, and I walked over and I ordered a beer from the bar, and it was like the bartender was like totally fucking awesome because he's like, oh my god, everything's open again. I'm like, hell yeah. So I go over and I'm sitting down. The bar still had a beer. And I turn around and there's these guys that I don't want to get into any race or anything like that, but they looked at me and they said, "Don't touch the table." So they're playing pool, and I was like, "All right, yeah, no worries." So Florida man turns around me. I'm just like, I'm gonna sit here have my beer.
Florida man turned around and looked at you. Is that what you said?
No. These guys looked at me and they were like, "Hey, Florida man, don't screw with our pool table."
They called you Florida man, but you're all in Florida though.
Well, exactly. They didn't call me Florida man. But,
right. I got you.
but they looked at me and we're at the bar, right? So the everything opened back up, and I was like, all right, let's go have a beer at the bar. So I sit down. And I was just chilling, and then that was the night. It was like, go out, have a beer, cool, good to go back to the house.
So didn't I mean? So even though that everything's been lifted, everyone's still trying to act all social. Everyone's trying to be social distancing a little bit. Everyone's still kind of skittish about hanging out, right?
Absolutely. So like, if you go to any bar, restaurant, pub, if you go to any convenience store, if you go to any Walgreens, Publix, Winn-Dixie, I don't know if Winn-Dixie even open anymore. I haven't been over there. They all have this plexiglass up, like so you can barely fit a 12-pack.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Through like you can barely fit a 12-pack of beer through. And I'm not gonna say which beer I'm. Yeah, you can barely
a case of Tecate. How about that? You can, yeah.
Hell. Oh.
Do they sell Tecate where you're at? Is that what we're saying? Or is that place communist? They don't sell Tecate? Is that what you're saying?
There was I came back on R&R in 2005, and there was a corporal that I was hanging out with. He was a Mexican guy, and he's like, "Man, you gotta drink Tecate. It's like the best stuff." And I'm like,
"It is." So go ahead. Yeah, you're digging yourself a hole if you say you hate Tecate. You're talking to the wrong dude right now if you don't like Tecate. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You're like all awkward and shit. Wait a minute. Okay, so now everything's open. Now everything's kind of like back. I mean, like I feel like I'm speaking to you like you were an explorer to like a no name, like you know, like you went to a uncharted territory, like you went forward in time or something like that. Because I know in some states right now they're so fucked up with their social distancing, they're still locked down that nobody knows what to do. And you know, it's funny watching everybody with their freaking haircuts, their hair growing out and looking like freaking, you know, hair all frizzed out. But so talking to you, they're like, oh yeah, so do they have running water there? That's what it feels like, man. So how is the? I guess, I mean, I don't want to say these numbers. I mean, is it less of a big deal than what the media is throwing out to be?
Absolutely. I mean, but we can't discount the fact that this virus might allegedly exist. Like, so we can't just say. Right.
We keep saying allegedly, though.
We can't go into these conspiracy theories, and there's the people wearing the tinfoil hats and all that. It doesn't make sense. Wearing personal protective equipment, or I want to say community protective equipment, because here's the argument that I'm seeing.
Go ahead.
People are like, well, if I wear a mask, it's not going to protect me, but if I wear a mask, it's going to protect other people, right? So it's like, oh my God, a virus could get through your mask, but a virus will not get out of your mask. So it's like a diode.
Right. So that's the thing. That's what makes you mad, dude. It's that like we're talking about the randos. Go ahead.
So you go out to a grocery store, right? And I'm there, and there's like half the people, 50%, are wearing masks. I'm wearing my mask. It's not too much of a pain in the ass. I got the one that I can tie behind my head, right? It's not a pain in the ass. But there's always people like, oh my God, I'm not going to wear a mask because it's going to take away my freedoms. What freedoms did it take away from you? It's not a pain in the ass. It's not like, you know, we're requiring you to like carry a backpack with a fucking bunch of bricks and tell you to go run 2 miles.
Well, see that I'm telling you right now, there's people right now that they're there is people that are freaking getting upset, saying that it is an infringement on freedoms on how they wear or not wear a mask, and they kind of like, it's almost like that one guy who got upset. Well, let's look at the arguments then. I mean, it's gonna eventually come up to this topic.
Let's go there.
Let's go there. Well, fucking A. Okay, so there was a case in Florida. I think, where a woman who was of the Islamic faith had a hijab on her face, and the state of Florida required that no mask be worn. You have to have your face open for identity. And then everyone's like, yeah, she needs to show her face. But then there was a guy wearing a Trump hat. He wanted to wear his Trump hat while he was taking a picture of his driver's license, I think somewhere like in freaking Iowa or some shit like that. And everyone made a big deal about it. Everyone's like, yeah, he should wear it. He should be authorized to wear it on his head. Well, one's a religious accoutrement and the other one isn't. And now you're getting told, if I don't walk into a store or wherever wearing a mask, then now I'm fucked up. I must be a Trump lover because I don't wear a mask, or I must be, what the hell? No one else is wearing a mask. I mean, if I'm walking into a store and there's no policy in the store saying that you don't have to wear a mask. Why do I have to wear a mask? You know, if the store is telling me that the store tells me, hey, Ken, you got to wear a mask. You must. You know, no shoes, no shirt, no service, no mask. That's the same fucking thing, right? It's the same. Isn't that the same mentality that people are using? Or what's your take on it?
Well, people are just fucking stupid.
Very technical, and so glad you gave that poignant response. But go ahead, Stefan. No, tell us. Continue. No, I mean, my point is that, well, you're not. So right now but the thing is lifted though. You know what I mean? The state restrictions and the lockdown is lifted, so that means you don't have to wear a fucking mask. You don't have to wipe shit down, right? Those were the restrictions that were placed that was locked down, right? Isn't that what's up?
Ice, I've got a weird thought on this one. All right, so before this whole virus thing, let's go back. Let's transport ourselves back 6 months ago.
You're the time traveler, bro. Go.
I do. Right, I'm the time traveler. So 6 months ago, people were getting colds and fevers and the flu and all this other bullshit, and then all of a sudden, everybody gets told on the internets or the social medias or the media that there's a virus going around. And what does everybody make a run on? And they all go out and they buy all the soap and they buy all the, and all of a sudden, like, now everybody's washing their hands. So you're telling me that 6 months ago, nobody washed their hands.
Right.
People are just
nasty.
Stupid. People are just nasty, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's something that you should do. And we've already talked about me washing my balls, right? So we've already gone there.
Right, yeah, because you're on the
personal hygiene.
Personal,
right?
yeah, you're on the sack tangent, but go ahead.
But we actually had to have. I was at a unit out at Fort Huachuca, Arizona. I was there in 2006, 2007, and we had to have a specialist do an entire PowerPoint presentation on personal hygiene.
Right, we used to have. Well, you remember we used to have a training. We used to have field sanitation. We used
Absolutely,
to have,
like
it was a field sanitation 2-week class. You went to do field sand, and then you were the guy that before we set up in the field. This was back in the old day. We used to used to go out and make sure that you went out with the veteran, the veterinarian to make sure that the standing still water ponds were sprayed with freaking mosquito shit. Everyone, you had the hand sanitizing areas. You had right before the defac. You had to make sure that there was downwind shit with the fucking porta latrines if you had a slit trench or something to dig. I'm talking about like 80s and shit. So
yeah, in Kandahar in 2005 when I was over there, we had the hand washing station before you came into the or was it the chow tent or whatever.
Right, exactly.
But they actually got contaminated themselves.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, because the water. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. The water inside the hand washing station got contaminated.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing is this: is remember, and everyone. I still have text. I'm gonna blast it out, and I'll probably post it later. That's some conspiracy shit. But remember back in the day, there was a text going around that says there's going to be a national lockdown, and every state is going to be forced to lock down, and then the government will be told not to do it, and some leading scientists or something. Remember that text that was going around? And then everyone said, don't believe that text. There's no way that there's going to be a national lockdown. Did you get that text?
I didn't get that text. I got a really weird phone call to my phone this week, and it said that if I don't call them back, that they're going to process a case against me, and the cops will be able to pick me up. And I was like, what the that's a scam.
Really? Well, really, who are they? Well, let's give it a number here. What's
Do we want to call him back?
You want to call him back? Yeah, well, yeah. I don't give a shit. It's a number that they gave you, right? So what's the number? Give us the D's. What's the number?
All right.
I'm in a mood.
The police know where I live, so if they want to come out, they're welcome to come out. But...
Right. Oh no, they're gonna give names. Wait.
I think it was like more of like an auto dial type thing or a robocall. So I don't know how valid. I don't know if it's even worth like putting on the air.
Oh, gotcha. I see what you're saying. Okay, no worries. I was just about to say.
I'll send you the number and
just drop it in the inbox on the page and see what's up, and then we'll do some research. I'm all about, because that one time we called out the IRS scam, and that they got really pissed off at us. That one time we did that. No, okay. So let's continue.
All right,
so there's
sidebar.
Yeah, sidebar of the word interesting call. Okay, so now there are stores. There are stores that are requiring you to have a mask, that you must wear a mask. That is fine. A store cannot let you in. Again, that's not your fucking store, right? So if you were to walk in, I know I would. If I was into a store, I'm in a state that's still locked down. If I'm about ready to walk in a store and there's a sign that says mask required for entry, then I will go back to my fucking truck and get my mask. You know what I mean? I'll just is that the thing you just dropped to me right here? Is that it? Is that right there?
Did I knock that? Did I get you that one?
Let me see. I can't remember. Yeah, it's no big deal. Yeah.
All right. So
so they require me to wear a mask. It's almost like I said. It's almost like no shoes, no shirt, no service, right? So
it's not like they ask you to wear mop gear.
Well, right. Right. Wait. Well, I mean, it's not. But then again, like I said, but if you are just walking into a store that has no mask restriction placed upon the persons going in, the patrons going into the establishment, then you just walk in, right? You're cool, right? You're cool with that, right? That's.
So look at the overhead costs for the stores. So now they've got to buy these barriers. Now they've got to put money out to make up all these signs and whatnot. So it's totally impacting the store's bottom line. But now are we going to have stores paying bouncers?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But again, you're in a state right now. You're in a state that's not requiring all these masks, all this stuff to be worn. I'm in a state that is.
State hasn't. Well, actually, it's county by county, so it's not statewide. Governor DeSantis.
Oh shit! So it's only county by. Oh, so he left it up to the counties then.
Absolutely, yeah. So Florida was like, let the counties do what they want to do.
You're not. Oh shit! You're not really lifted from a lockdown then. So you could go to one place that has. You can just walk into a store wearing, freaking, t-shirt and shorts and flip-flops and no mask, and then another one might make you wear full pants, t-shirt, and fucking, might make me the whole thing. So then, do you not think? And this is average Joe show. I mean, for me, I'm the same way. If a store makes me come in, if I'm going to the store and it says you have to wear a mask, I'll just go get my truck and wear a mask. Do you feel the same way? Do you think it's not a big deal to wear a mask?
It's absolutely not a big deal. Put the fucking mask on. It's just do it, lace it up, tie it on, whatever.
So
it's no big deal. But the problem is the people think that there's the other 50% of the population that are totally like, we're not wearing it. Fuck it.
Right. Well, that's the stores that don't have. Like I said, there's a store because right now there's a lot of stores, and that's what makes me mad about this whole thing. I don't want to get public or political on fucking Memorial Day, but I mean, there are individuals that are saying that it's okay for you, that are being real restrictive when it comes to you being in Walmart and Lowe's, but then again, they don't want to have voting. They don't want to have polls set up for voting, even though there's people breathing on each other in friggin', you know what I mean, in a freaking store. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's totally gone political, and I'm not going to go either side, so let's leave that alone.
Right, man.
But shit, I lost my train of thought.
So you're wearing now your. So now you said you'd go get your. You go back to your truck and get your mask and you lace up. So what out now?
Yeah.
Do you think that individuals that don't lace up deserve to get their asses chided by the rest of the patrons in the store for not masking up? Have you been seeing that lately? Have you seen that? I've seen. I saw a video. I wasn't prepared for it because I was going to talk about it, but there was a store where someone didn't wear a mask. The store was not required to wear a mask, but the person walked in without a mask. Everybody else who had masks on chased the person out for not wearing a mask, even though the store did not require a mask.
I mean, would they chase around with like a baseball bat or something?
No, they're like crying. They're literally, dude. I'm gonna tell you what. Everyone like talking about these freaking Karens. I looked at people like there were some diabetic people rolling around in their freaking in their little carts too, their little rolling carts, their electric scooters driving around kicking this one lady. I think it was a lady or something like that. I just caught a glimpse of the video. I didn't know exactly where it was at. I didn't do any research on it, but chasing somebody out because they weren't wearing a mask. Even I don't know if the store required it, but I'm gonna tell you right now, man. There's some of the states that I know. I'm not saying I carry open freedom devices around or concealed freedom devices, but if somebody comes rolling up to you, screaming at you, getting close to you about not wearing a mask, violating social distancing rules themselves, what's up with that? I mean, we're getting kind of stupid on this shit. Leave me alone.
So a concealed bald eagle should only be revealed when it's going to be used.
Right. Exactly that. That's when it's only going to be used, but. I'm just not gonna. Gary T. Ravinsky, U.S. Navy, KIA, Iraq, 2006.
Dude, wow. It's been so many people that I've known that are not with us today, and I'm going through something with my family, so I don't want to get into that. We can text with that.
No, go ahead, dude. What? This is dude. I was getting into it. I was getting into some stuff. What's up?
Yeah, just going through all the people that I knew that went, shit, I've been in Afghanistan 05, 06, 09, 11. I did the Egypt revolution for somebody, and then I went back over to Afghanistan in 13. So I've been over there, right? So I've seen some. I've done some ramp ceremonies. It sucks.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
But yeah, more Memorial Day. I mean, but definitely, I appreciate talking to you guys. So down here in Florida, where were we going? All right. So if somebody comes into and so let's lay out a scenario. I go into the grocery store down here,
right,
and I go to the freezer section and I buy the food that I'm going to eat for the day, or if actually it was after work, so I'm gonna go in there and buy something I'm gonna eat, and then I'm walking up towards the cashier and there's an elderly lady, and this had to be like the beginning of March or towards the end of February, and this elderly lady looked at me and she said, "Get the fuck away from me." And I'm like, whoa. I was like, whoa. I'm like 9 feet from you. We got 3 yards, and this elderly lady, like this had to be at the end of February, and at that point I was like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? And so I was like, all right, yeah, no worries, lady. I'll stand back here. You stand over there. We're cool. She's like,
the old people though kind of get. I'll be honest with you. Okay, look, it's like Betty White dropping the F word. You think it's hilarious shit when Betty White is gangster. So when she starts going off on somebody and starts dropping F bombs, I think it's fucking hilarious. It's like, hell yeah, you know what I mean? It's you would sit there and say, God damn, but so when someone is going off and saying, "You better get the hell out of my face, you little shit," I would roll. I'd start laughing. I would not feel threatened. You know what I mean? I would imitate her. I would probably imitate the old person too. I'd be like, "Oh, you better shut up. Oh, you better shut up." Exactly that. Ross, start sneezing in their face and shit. Like start sneezing. Or start acting like you have a runny nose. Start doing that shit. And then around an old person, they'd move the fuck away. That you play back a game. I'm just saying. But anyways, but like I said, do you feel? You don't feel that? How do I say this? So you do think it's wrong that people were to surround somebody not wearing a mask for not wearing a mask? You think it's fucked up? You think that scenario's fucked up?
You got to think about the economy of things. How can businesses protect themselves? Are they going to have to hire bouncers? Like
9. This is the alles typisch deutsche Mentalität. You were speaking in German to me, bro. No, you're thinking in German. You're not. As soon as you said economy, it's like, okay, yeah, Stefan, your fucking German's coming out.
No, I'm serious though. Like, should Walgreens have a bouncer at the door, and they're gonna have to pay for that, and that's gonna come under their bottom line?
That's
Ich spreche Deutsch.
Ja, ich weiß. Honestly, I was gonna go some shit. Anyways, I don't want everybody to go like, what the hell? I was like a Stefan are talking about. It's almost like it's like the fucking Hunger Games, man. It is like the fucking Hummer. You just let it fucking happen. Just let it fucking happen. I almost said Hummer Games. So I've been raising in glasses, grazing in glasses today. I almost said the Hummer Games. Let them go at it, dude. Fuck it. If you don't have to, if you're a store like Walgreens or CVS or Walmart, everybody knows at the Thunderdome. You don't have to have any person. Hey, the stores. Hey guys, you don't have to worry about fucking doing this shit. It's open season, and then that's it. You don't have to have. There's no requirements for us, according to the state, that we have our stores have masks to be worn. Then guess what? Then don't wear a fucking mask. Then at that point, it'd be like normal. I would actually be there with a GoPro cam, just watching individuals losing their shit for watching somebody going off on somebody else going off for having a mask. You know what I mean? I'd let that shit fucking let it happen. Then call the cops. Hey, we have a Karen here and another Karen. One Karen for masks. One Karen's for without masks. They're all yelling at each other and pushing each other with the carts. Could you get them out of the store? Because at that point, you're right. You're talking about the bottom line of an establishment of a business, but then again, how many other bottom lines of where else? Goddamn, dude, it's getting stupid to the point where I was sick a few weeks back. I was pretty sick. And everyone said the same thing. Well, actually, you probably got it too. I have some friends that said, you probably got it too.
Well, unless you get officially tested and verified, we're just making guesses.
Right. Everybody else is making guesses too. That's the thing. Everybody, I'm like you just said, we're not medical professionals. Are you medical? I'm not. So you're gonna walk around. I'm not gonna sit there and say, yeah, I've already got issues with your company using an app. You know, I'm just saying that. I mean, I have issues personally because it's a personal thing that now they have your medical data. Because then it's going to start at COVID. Then they're going to be like, all right, what's the Stefan do? Does Stefan like to go and drink at bars and get yelled at by rando Florida dudes to, you know what I mean? So that means where are you hanging out with? We want to know where you're hanging out with. And then people start doing cross-referencing using AI. And the next thing you know, there are saying that you are patronizing areas and facilities and establishments that have known convicted drug dealers and has had a high crime rate. That's the step. That's the next step to control. I mean, I'm like obviously going off the deep end when it comes to that type of.
Yeah, that's totally possible though. I mean, so it's
possible.
It's the deep end, but it is. So we have to think about that.
I know I do because I was thinking about because you know I was just like thinking about that too. It's like a lot of the people that have gone through the stuff and they get told. Some of my friends that are still in the army are like, yeah, we don't have to. We get told to stay home if we feeling symptoms, but they won't test us. Why won't they test you? Because they want to add a number.
All right, so for somebody to say, well, I'm going to stay home because I'm feeling symptoms. Well, what are the actual symptoms?
Right.
How are you informed of what the symptoms are? So how do you know what you may allegedly be feeling?
Well,
so
it's fever. They say fever, fatigue. Your voice, your throat in the back is freaking tickling.
Yeah.
You know, that sounds like a porno waiting to happen. Hey, you know,
how many dicks did you suck last night?
How's your voice tickling? What are you talking about? Isn't that what COVID? Isn't that a symptom of COVID? What are you talking about? Are you feeling warm? What are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm just like, oh, man, it's just like.
So this app is like a gay guy hitting on me at a bar.
Oh my God, dude. I want to know about.
Are you feeling hot?
I was about to say, yeah. I was about to say it's something like Tinder is like a freaking like a dating app or something like that. Are you hot right now? How are you feeling achy? How sore are you? Are you feeling really sore? I bet you're really warm right now. Here, put this in your mouth so I can take your temperature. That sounds like a porno ready to start up. That's kind of messed up, man. Oh God, man. That's just like, ugh. But, anyway, yeah. I just like I said, I was just curious, bro. And just wanted to see. You have 50 Shades of COVID. I just wanted to see what it was like because I mean, just because you're in a state. I'll tell you what, this COVID shit has ruined everything that I've had planned. Actually, has ruined not just me, has ruined a ton of things that people have had planned. And I don't particularly fucking, you know, it just kind of gets you just thinking, like, you know, is this all fucking worth these motherfuckers just talking all this shit? Was it really, I hope you all motherfuckers are happy because there's a lot of people that have had businesses lose out. I mean, damn, it sucks, man. People have had businesses for years. And then all of a sudden they come under because they were told to close down. And then you're realizing that, holy shit, you know, businesses are starting to realizing that their Patreons really were, the customer was always right. You know what I mean? That they really depended on their cut, but also small businesses that have been around for, you know, a few decades. Man, that just like, it gets frustrating, man. It's just like, God, dude, it sucks. Because I'd wanted to see, you know, like I said, I wanted to see on a personal level. I'm pretty sure you did too. There were some things that you wanted to do that you wanted to knock out that you know, but it just sucks, man. So, man, you're right.
I just sent you a text.
Yeah.
If you want to read that.
Yeah, I just did. Sorry to hear about that, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a rough weekend.
Yeah. No, I hear you. It just Wahlberger said the same thing. It's just there's been suicide's been up and a lot of stuff, and it's just like. It just sucks, man. It's just a lot of stuff that our economy, that our community, that our society. I'm really starting to show. American people are really starting to see. Hey, you know what? All these politicians that said they were going to do a lot of stuff for us really are talking out of their ass.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally like left and right side. They're just all sides, in my opinion, are just totally full of shit.
Oh, yeah, oh my God, dude! You hell, you can't even be libertarian anymore. Without libertarians being stupid about stuff. I'm like thinking, you got to be kidding me.
I mean, I'm not running around like, you know, with a printout of the Constitution in my Bible. And
you better, well, because everybody knows the law of the land is the First and the Second Amendment. Everybody knows that. That's what the Lord said. Jesus gave me some COVID and the Second Amendment. Amen. Praise be the buddy. I want to get all. Everyone's gonna be like freaking out on Twitter because you say anything religious on Twitter and people freak out. But hey, man, thanks for giving us a Joe on the street update on your lifted down. Now, are you excited about this launch that's happening on Wednesday? I know the freaking Space Force WTF guys and gals are freaking out and they can't wait. I think, like I said, hopefully they're going to be able to film it.
Well, I'll be down here to film it if it happens, and I got the insides on the actual countdown and whatnot.
Bro,
so
yeah, well, just let it. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna send a message to them. Well, just send a message to the Space Force page, the Space Force WTF, and let them know what's up. I'm more than happy to freaking to get all the deets, because, like I said, I know some of them are involved, so I'm kind of like, I don't know if they'll be able to film it or they'll be able to get some of it.
We can definitely film it from the beach. So Patrick Air Force Base, which is just south of Cape Canaveral. So I'm not sure if you guys use Googleizer and look up the maps.
Right.
Patrick Air Force Base is just south of Cape Canaveral, south of Cocoa, so Satellite Beach.
Right.
From the beach, you can go on the beach and film pretty much anything. And so like the coolest one which we just did was the launch abort test. So you had a Falcon 9 going up. So in relation to the Earth, and they did the abort test. So that you're talking the crew capsule,
right?
Left the spacecraft. The spacecraft was in the Earth's atmosphere, so it's still within atmospheric air, and it totally fucking just I'm trying to think of the correct word to say over the air. It disintegrated with a big fireball.
It did it on purpose, though. It was a detonation sequence that blew up to.
It wasn't a detonation. It was so the abort craft went off.
Self-destruct or some shit.
And it wasn't self-destruction. It was the supersonic velocity wind or air or whatever you want to call it, atmosphere. Just tore the aircraft or tore the spacecraft apart. The crew capsule escaped and parachutes deployed, and it came back down, that was the whole test. It was a total success.
Okay, so the test was a failure, and then that right there was part of it.
The entire idea was to simulate a failure.
Right. Okay.
And see basically test if the ejection seat works. And once you pop the ejection seat, the aircraft is going down, but get the crew out. Save the crew.
Right.
Nobody cares about this spacecraft. It was really weird though. Typically on any Falcon launch, they'll go up, and it's kind of loud depending on how far how close you get to the launch pad.
Right.
But the loudest part was when they did a Falcon 9 Heavy, which is three rockets strapped together.
Yeah, and they also come back out of the atmosphere and land by themselves. They like stand back up on their ends again, right? That's
yeah, so they landed two of them at the Cape, and then they landed another one offshore on the drone ship, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's badass. All right, cool.
It's really interesting. When not trying to overrun you. So
no, go ahead. I'm excited about it because, like I said, we're launching America. America's going back into space, man. We don't have to worry about Ivan and the Russians to do this shit, man. So I gotta go ahead and close up, bro. But thanks again for giving us a buzz.
Really appreciate it. I'll always be around if you guys need some voice on the ground or some video or whatever. Just let me know.
For sure, man. Make sure you contact the Space Force guys.
All right, will do.
All right, talk to you later. Yeah. All right, that was Stefan. He's been around forever since WTF Nation Radio started and has been in the chats providing some guidance and, of course, or wisdom and tidbits of information. Guys and gals, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. Like I said, I told Flash to go hang out with his old man because it's just that time right there. But again, yesterday we had Lorena Tomasini. If you guys checked out the show last night, I didn't check it out, but I'm getting the reviews from it, and I'll probably listen to the podcast tomorrow. Lorena Tomasini was with Cause and Al to talk about in-life planning, because there's some things that happen when you think that the VA is going to help you out with that won't. And they were on there. Everyone tells me that they got some good feedback. Tomorrow we have Addison Williams. Addison Williams is the CEO and marketing strategist of 98 to Go. Prior to marketing within the agency environment, Addison oversaw marketing, public relations, and special service messaging within the U.S. Special Operations Command. That's my jam right there. And then, God, he's got another guest. So Pop Culture Warrior, CQ's been knocking it out of the park, and all of his guests that he's been rolling in there, I love it. I mean, it's kind of like a tradition, anyways, within the station that the noob host gets a ton of guests, and he's loving it. So the more guests he gets, the more experience. We have Adam. He's going to have Adam Keyes on the 2nd of June. Adam Keyes is an Army veteran and triple amputee, and he'll be on Pop Culture Warrior to discuss his remarkable story on how his hard work and dedication helped him succeed as a comedian. Oh my God, he's an amputee, so you can imagine some of the jokes that he's probably going to have. Also known to have participated in marathons and guest speaker, inspiring motivational speaker stuff, and help events succeed as well. Again, everybody, thanks again for dropping the names. Thank you guys and gals for hanging out with me. Like I said, I wasn't really going to be alone tonight because I had you guys here with me. And with that, you guys have a good Memorial Day evening. Like I said, raise your glass in remembrance of those that have fallen. And don't forget that the shows that we have is Tuesday, Pop Culture Warrior with CQ, Mike Castillo. We also have Sergeant's Time with myself and Spanky. Spanky's going to be out for the next couple Sergeant's Time, so I'm going to have Radar with me in the gunner seat, rocking and rolling. And then Sunday is Kicking It with Cause and Al. We really appreciate you guys' patronage, and everyone get some shots, and we'll talk to you all later. Shouts.
Intergalactic horse, and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. They say that they've discovered life up there on Mars, so let's blow it all to hell and then claim it for ours. We'll paint the moon red, white, and blue for no other reason than we wanted to. Oh, Jupiter, imagine what you could become. A stupid, pointless planet turned into a giant gun. And Russia, so sorry, have to burst your bubble. Be a good sport now, sit back, relax, and watch us through the Hubble as we celebrate the greatness of the United Planets of America. Space Force, Space Force. We'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Now we'll go to infinity and beyond, beyond. You'll hear our manly voices singing Space Force strong. The critics say sound doesn't travel in space, to which we reply sound will do as we say. Oh, Captain Kirk, your achievements, though notable and fine, as far as we're concerned, this is Deep Space Mine. And big fans, but Lord Vader, step away from the lightsaber. There can only be one, of course. Space Force. Ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum, ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Space Force, Space Force. We'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Space
Wear a condom? We're in Fayetteville. No one gets STDs here.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.